What would you do if money could fall from the sky every time your parents were humiliated? What if wealth only asked for one thing in return, their dignity? This is the story of a girl who traded respect for riches and discovered that some pots don't cook food, they actually cook souls. In the dry village of Luanda, where dust rose higher than dreams, lived a girl named Amina. Poverty did not visit Amina's home, it lived there. Their house leaned sideways like it was tired of standing. Their roof had more holes than stars in the sky. When it rained, the water didn't knock, it entered freely. Their father once had strong hands that could clear land, build fences, carry sacks of maize. But drought is cruel, and unemployment is quieter than hunger, but more deadly. Now, he returned home each evening with empty pockets and a tired smile. Her mother stitched and restitched the same faded wrapper. She stretched 1 cup of maize flour into miracles. Some nights, they boiled water with salt, just to fool their stomachs into believing food was coming. And Amina watched. She watched other girls walk past their hut, wearing bright dresses from town. She watched laughter flow through them. And she watched silence follow her. She was tired of being that poor girl, tired of watching her parents apologize for things that were not their fault. Then one afternoon, on her way to the river, everything changed. She saw him, a short man standing beside a crooked acacia tree. He looked wrong, not dangerous, not friendly, just wrong, as if he did not belong to this world. "You're tired of being poor," he said calmly. Amina froze. "I can change that." He held out a small clay pot, ordinary, cracked slightly on the side. "This pot will give you all the money in the world." Her heart began to race. "All?" she whispered. "All," he nodded. "But it feeds on something." "What does it feed on?" "Embarrassment." She blinked. "Every time your parents are humiliated," he said slowly, "the pot will produce money. There should have been fear, there should have been hesitation, but hunger is louder than conscience." She took the pot. That evening, her father returned home exhausted. As he stepped through the doorway, Amina quietly stuck out her foot. He tripped and fell hard. Her mother rushed to him. "Are you okay?" But Amina didn't hear them. She heard something else. Clink, clink, clink. Her heart pounded as she rushed to her room and opened the pot. Money. Real money. Her hands trembled. The next day, she laughed loudly in the marketplace and told everyone, "My father cannot even afford soap." People stared. Her father lowered his head. Clink. More money. Another day, she pointed at her mother's torn wrapper and shouted, "You look like a beggar." Her mother's eyes filled with tears. Clink. More money. At first, guilt visited her at night, but money has a way of comforting guilt. Soon, their broken heart was repaired, then rebuilt. Amina bought colorful dresses, golden sandals, perfume that announced her before she arrived. Villagers whispered. How did they become rich overnight? Her parents did not ask questions. They were just relieved to eat. But the pot demanded more. Embarrassment was no longer enough. Now it wanted humiliation. One evening, Amina sat on a large carved chair in their new house. "If you want dinner," she said coldly, "dance for me." Her parents stared at her. She didn't blink. Slowly, her father stood up. He danced. Her mother followed. They danced with broken hearts and empty eyes. Clink, clink. The pot overflowed. Another night, "If you want to sleep on the new mattresses I bought," she said, smiling cruelly, "quack like ducks." Her parents hesitated, but hunger makes people do things pride never would. They quacked. Outside, a neighbor heard, and shame traveled faster than wind. The village elders called for a meeting beneath the great fig tree. Among them stood Babakito, the old village priest whose voice carried wisdom and thunder. Amina arrived dressed in gold. Her parents stood behind her, small and tired. "Child," one elder said gently, "what is the source of your wealth?" "My hard work," she said smoothly. But Baba Kito's eyes fell on the clay pot she held tightly. "Bring it," he said. She hesitated, but the villagers were watching. Slowly, she handed it over. The priest closed his eyes and whispered into it. Suddenly, the air shifted. The wind rose, and from inside the pot came cries. Not coins, cries. Her father's humiliation, her mother's tears, the shame, the laughter, the broken dignity. The pot was not producing money. It was feeding on their honor. Baba Kito lifted his staff. "This pot is cursed," he declared. "It grows wealth from disgrace." Before Amina could move, crack, he smashed it against a stone. The money inside turned to dust instantly. Her jewelry rusted. Her dresses faded. The walls of a new house began to crack. Everything built on humiliation collapsed. Amina fell to her knees. "No, you don't understand. We were finally happy." Her father looked at her, and for the first time, there was no softness in his eyes. "You were happy," he said quietly. "We were not." The villagers helped her parents stand. "We will not let you suffer again," they said. They led them away. Amina tried to follow, but the elders stopped her. "Character," one said firmly, "is wealth. And you traded yours." For the first time in her life, she was alone. No money, no applause, no parents, just silence. Days later, she returned to the river. She searched for the short man. He was gone. In his place stood the same crooked acacia tree, carved into its bark were words she never had noticed. "Anything that grows from shame will harvest loneliness." Amina collapsed and wept, not because she was poor again, but because she understood something far more painful. Money can rebuild houses, but it cannot rebuild respect. And once dignity is broken, there is no pot in this world that can glue it back together. If this story touched you, remember, never trade love for luxury, never trade respect for riches, and never forget, the wealth that matters most cannot be counted, because some pots don't cook food, they cook hearts.